All right, guys, we finally got some new parts in for the F-250. If you've watched the last two videos on the F-250, you've heard me say it. The dent in this bumper drives me insane. There's one really big one right there, a kind of small one there, and then another one on this side. So this has to go. Gonna be paint matching the front end of this truck. So we bought a new bumper. It's in primer right now. And we bought two new fog light bezels. Whenever they hit this side of the bumper, that came loose. Also has a crack right there. So bought two of those. Gonna be paint matching the bumper, the fog lights, the valence, and the grille. Eventually we will do these mirrors, the badges, and the rear bumper. But today we're only doing the front end of the truck. It's extremely cold out here. I don't feel like being out here today, just to be honest with you. So we're gonna make this intro short. I'm gonna get to the time lapse. I'm gonna take apart the front end of this truck, and I will pick y'all up when we're done. All right, so that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I know when they clean that spot on the hood. I'm not sure why it's there, but I get it. We're gonna do something about that hood, so it's for a later time. But that's not too bad. 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, and then on the sides, the grill, 4 bolts, and then snapped out. I wasn't sure if I was gonna drive it like this. Let's see how bad it looks. I really don't wanna drive it around like this, just in case I'm behind a car and a rock comes up and puts a hole through my radiator. But I think I'm going to. I don't know if I can fit that new bumper in my car. So we're gonna be driving around like this today. If you see that, I'm sorry. I'm gonna load everything up and I'll see y'all at Saul's. All right, guys, y'all can see we made it to our boy's tint shop. It's in Aniana, Alabama. JR's window tint. There's a number right there. He did tint the F-250. He tinted my blue truck that I had on the channel. And this is a little single cab he's got right here. And then his daily. This is Saul. This is his tint shop. But his dad owns a body shop up the road. So their body shop's only open a half day on Saturday. And with it being 5 o'clock right now, I'm gonna drop these parts off. He's gonna put them in his truck. And he's gonna take care of all the paint work this week. We're gonna come back next week, and I think we're gonna install it at the body shop and maybe do like a reveal. Definitely need to wash the truck. This truck is filthy. I haven't washed it in over a month. Y'all can see this thing is gross. The wheels are covered in brake dust. It's probably the biggest problem with these F-250s, these front brakes. I don't know how to get rid of that brake dust. If you know, please drop it in the comments. He is taking the gas cap so he can clean that up and then get an exact match for the paint code for the bumper. It ended up getting dark on us. We went inside to get warm, ended up talking for way too long like we always do. But JR's window tint, Aniana, Alabama. This is Saul. He's gonna take care of you. He also does paint match, does all my paint match on both of my trucks. Yo. He just splattered my truck with rocks. Oh, was it that car? Makes me miss the blue truck. Dude, the tires are so cheap you don't feel bad doing it. All right, guys, it has been exactly 1 week since we dropped the front end off at Saul's. We're back up here this morning. We've got the truck. We've got the new painted bumper right there. You can kind of see the grill right there. So right now we got this old bumper. We're taking off all these mounting brackets for the fog lights and how the bumper mounts to the truck. And we're putting it on the new bumper. We've got the new painted grill right here. We've got the fog light harness right here. We'll have to rerun that on the new bumper. It's upside down right now, but you can kind of see. Got the fog lights going in. We washed the front end of the truck. There's a line right there behind that door where it's dirty, where it's clean right here, because we might have to buff the front end of the truck to get this new paint to blend with the 10-year-old paint. We're thinking it's gonna match pretty well. I'm really tired of looking at the truck with no front end on it. We only washed one wheel, so don't pay attention to this one right here. So for now, we only painted this outside plastic, and then the emblem in here, I did order this from China, but it ended up being the wrong size, and I didn't like the black around the edges. So Saul had to take that emblem apart in like 3 pieces, and actually looks really good. The chrome's kind of beat up, so now I'm kind of insecure about that. You couldn't really tell until you had some nice shiny paint next to it, and now it looks like it's been sandblasted. But we'll go ahead and put this grill on. Saul did a really good job on it. If you're from Birmingham area, North Alabama, definitely come up here. I'm gonna put all his social medias in the description of the video. He tints as well. So this is the only place I come to. He's been to my paint match for a long time. Like I said before, if you got a comment about my hood being dirty, keep it to yourself. I don't know what blew up under here, but this will be gone soon anyways. All right, guys, it is the next day. We spent most of yesterday putting the truck back together and then just hanging out and catching up. But we've got the truck back out here where we filmed the last video with the 26x16s. If you haven't watched that, it's on the channel. Go check that out. I'm hoping that this paint match looks just as good on camera as it does in person. Right now, this right side is getting a lot of sun. It's about to set, but everything looks perfect. It was a little bit off, all the new stuff being a little bit lighter than obviously the 10-year-old paint on the truck. But Saul buffed the front end for me, being the hood and the fenders. And everything on the front clip looks brand new. We're gonna go back, we're gonna do these fender badges, the mirrors and rear plastics, maybe some other small pieces. But as we do that, we're gonna end up buffing and polishing the whole truck. But everything came out perfect. I really couldn't ask for a better job from Saul. He's always done my paint match. He did my paint match on my Chevy. And I go to him for tint. He tinted the truck, he tinted the blue truck I had. And anything that I can do to bring him business is definitely worth me mentioning on the channel. I'm not just saying these things because he is my friend. Of course, I want his businesses to grow, but the work really speaks for itself. Everything looks perfect. There's no runs, drips, or anything anywhere. And he ended up taking my emblem apart into like 4 pieces. He didn't have to do that. I mentioned it to him. He made it happen. We get a little close up on this. It looks OEM. I mean, you really can't tell that was ever taken apart. It looks factory. The only complaint that I have about this front end, it had nothing to do with Saul, but this little gap right here, OEM, it had a rubber mat. It's actually in the truck bed right now. But I took that out because it was old, it was torn, and it was just a thin black plastic. It just needed to go. So I'm gonna have to buy another one, and we need something to fill this space right here. Right now you can see some of the cross members or whatever you call that. I'm thinking about maybe a light bar right there. I know light bars are kind of played out. It's not 2012 anymore, but I'm not gonna mount one on my hood or put pod lights anywhere or, you know, screw one to my roof. Nothing like that, just maybe a small clean curved light bar right there, and then maybe put that mat, order an OEM one, and have it cover up everything back there. So originally I did have this license plate holder right there in the middle, and it does just snap on with these little rubber hooks or whatever. But I'm really not wanting to scratch up this fresh paint. So if we decide to do this, it'll be later on. So let me know what y'all think about that, or if you have one of these trucks, what y'all have done to cover that gap up. But I am in love with the front end of this truck now. It just makes me want to go paint more, and it's not a good thing because paint is not cheap. I could have made it a part 1 and 2, where last week we took everything apart, and this week we got everything back. But I wanted to have something to show for it other than just a torn apart truck, and I didn't feel like the first video would be too interesting. But I hope y'all like it as much as I do. If you do have any recommendations on what to do with that gap right there, I would appreciate it. If you stay this far in the video, please like it for me. If you are new, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 17,000 subscribers. I hope y'all got all the truck parts you wanted for Christmas, and I will see y'all next week.